Am I pronouncing
Yes,
right?
Lois. Yes, that's Lois. Yes.
Okay.
So I'd like to quickly, briefly introduce Julia. She'll be doing the translation, I think, just for Vlad.
Yes.
It's just for Vlad, right?
Она хотела просто представить меня, потому что я буду ваш Влад персональный переводчик.
Okay, so once she comes in to translate, I don't want a lot of, I hope that all of you will not get confused. So do we have East Africans in the house? I can see a few. I can see Katherine Silva. I can see Alice Kamunge Joy, right? Caroline, there you are. Any other East African? Sheba in the house?
Yes.
I want you to
Yes,
wave at everyone as we welcome everyone to the meeting and to the conference.
Hello.
Let's wave at everyone and welcome them in Kiswahili. We say karibu in East Africa.
Karibu.
Karibu.
Karibu sana.
Karibu sana.
Karibu.
Karibu.
Our moderator has not joined us yet. I don't know whether Winnie still is in the house, but if she's not, I'll take over just to save on time. And to say once again, Karibu to East Africa. We are so humbled to, to host this conference. We can't wait for this powerful. It will take me time to get used to it, but I think I'm there with you. It will take us time, but I'd like to welcome all of you to East Africa. We are so humbled, guys, to just have this opportunity to explore, ideas and see how we can be able to help each other during this pandemic that is COVID-19. I know a lot of us had a lot of dreams for 2020. I remember when the new year started, we had the prayers, we did the prayers, we were looking forward to a very fruitful year. But unfortunately, COVID-19 happened and a lot of our dreams came to probably, we pressed pause. And some people I know, especially small and medium enterprises, a lot of them. Sorry, Julia, do you want to take from there? Maybe you can be signaling me so that I can know when to stop.
Да, я бы хотела, может быть, я хотела предложить Владу, может быть, я потому что могу я могу переводить одновременно. Влад, может быть, я вам сейчас перезвоню и буду по телефону просто вам автоматически по тихому переводить все, что они говорят. Так возможно? Алло?
All right. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. I know a lot of us are busy with so many other plans in their businesses and have coming to join us so that we can discuss. So that we can discuss on how we can help each other's businesses and give each other's ideas on how we can be able to thrive even in our current businesses. And if some of us are thinking of venturing into other businesses, we just get to hear how other people, are just surviving through the pandemic. I know a lot of you have prepared presentations. They'd love to take us through what they have been able to do over the past, say, 3-4 months that we have been faced with this pandemic and how they have been able to survive through it. I think I'll start with Vlad, Julia, probably. No, but before that, allow me. Sorry for that. In the house is Dr. Ayla, the woman who's made this very possible for us. Yes.
Да, у нас сейчас находится на конференции доктор Айла. Она хотела представить. И хотела бы начать вместе с нами с тобой.
Dr. Ayla, can you hear us? Kindly wave to everybody who can hear us.
I want to welcome. Yes, I want to welcome everyone to batch 21. This conference has been happening in 21 countries and reach about 35,000 people.
На 21 страну и примерно 35 людей.
I want to welcome everyone and I want to say thank you for the time and thank you for hosting this event. East Africa, we love you so much.
Мы вас всех очень любим из Восточной Африки.
I hope that after COVID, we will have a lot of new business opportunities, new business collaboration, and the most important thing is to survive. To be alive in 2020 is already a profit.
А говорит то, что если говорить, вы выжили в 2020 году, это уже вы в плюсе, значит, вы уже в выигрыше, потому что она надеется, что после 2020 мы выйдем и будут много бизнес-возможностей для бизнесов заработать.
So I back to East Africa, have a good conference, and I hope we can collaborate for the future, for a better tomorrow.
Она надеется, что мы можем очень хорошо совместно работать для лучшего завтрашнего дня, на улучшение завтрашнего дня наших возможностей.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ayla, for that. East Africa is a region that has so many opportunities, business opportunities.
Восточная Африка — это большой регион с большими возможностями для бизнеса.
The people here are friendly and willing to work with everybody from every part of this world. And we cannot wait for COVID-19 to end so that we can start crossing borders and welcome you officially to East Africa.
Мы официально приветствуем нас в Восточной Африке. Здесь очень дружелюбные люди, и они готовы работать со всеми. Главное, чтобы сложились хорошие бизнес-отношения.
And before we start, I'd love to recognize the president for Africa, Ambassador Ales Kamunge. I can see she has joined us. If you can say a few words, Ambassador Kamunge.
Восточной Африки, регион Восточной Африки хотел его поприветствовать. Из Восточной Африки хотел поприветствовать нас.
Thank you everyone. How are you? Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Today is a great day. We have the whole world with us. It's a great opportunity for East Africa to host today's batch 21. It's a great opportunity for us, and we are very grateful. Today, because we have a very, very big, big number of speakers who are going to speak to us, and they are speaking of very, very important topic of how we are going to survive, how our businesses are going to survive the COVID. We won't waste so much time talking about so much about World Women Leading Change, but all we can say is that we are very grateful to World Women Leading Change because together we are here discussing on how we are going to survive the pandemic, and I believe we are going to do that. Welcome is right. Welcome to Africa. We are right. We are waiting, and we want to network with the like-minded people in the world so that we can do business together. I only want to appreciate the presence of all the presidents from Africa, not only East Africa, but from all Africa. They are all in the house, and we introduced them last week, and we want to tell everybody in the world that Africa is the place to come. East Africa, if you want to do any investment, if you want to do any business, please come to Africa because we are waiting for you. But without wasting so much of our time, I want to introduce the conference today and back to our able moderator so that you can be able to take us through, because it's very important for all of us to listen to our speakers of the day because they have something to tell us, which will make us maybe manage and navigate these very, very difficult terrains of the COVID and after COVID. Back to you, Lois.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Kamunge, for that. This is very important for so many of us because we are all entrepreneurs and we're all trying to survive through this COVID-19, and we're trying to make sure that our businesses also survive. So, without wasting time, I'd like to introduce Vlad. Is Vlad ready? Julia, is he ready?
Yes, he's ready, but he would like to make some wishes.
Okay, so we can jump maybe to Bradley. Bradley, are you here with us? There he is.
Yes. The only thing that he would like to do a conference in the following way. So it would be a question and an answer followed by each other, kind of like in order.
Okay, so we can have him. All right, then maybe we can have him
Question,
last.
answer, question,
Is that okay? All right. Okay, Mr. Bradley.
Yes.
We hope that your presentation is ready. 5 minutes, please, sir.
I will speak through the presentation. Right. What this pandemic has done, it has put 6 million people sick. It is not about people getting sick, but it is about the whole world coming to a standstill. That is why it is considered a crisis. How do we survive the crisis? To me, is about the mindset. If you looked at what it was and what it is and what it will be, it's going to be totally different. We have people all talking about a new normal. What is the new normal going to be is the question all of us are going to be asking. It's beyond structure. It is beyond financial balance sheet. It is about understanding people and understanding the mindset. You need to be asking questions about what we are going to be doing differently to survive. It's a question of asking what is our emotional balance sheet. In the emotional balance sheet, on the asset side, you will have your people and you'll have your processes. On the liability side, you will have uncertainties and you will have ambiguity. So the challenge to survive a crisis like this is to create a catalyst. A catalyst will find comfort in ambiguity, in uncertainty. The normal that you're talking about will be different to different industries, different countries, different societies. In my personal view, the globe will be self-centered, they'll be inward-looking, they'll be deglobalized and disconnected. But one industry that can connect the world is education. What we have found, like the conference we are having today, we are having people from across the world sitting and talking and sharing ideas is about education. Because of the lockdown, because of the disconnected world, education has opened the doors to connect people from across the world to connect. So my thought process to you is going forward, what you're going to ask from yourself is not what you're doing, but rather why you're doing. If you ask why we are doing something, then you will believe that you can achieve. 4 things you need to be conscious about. People who worked hard, they were locked down for 3 months. It's like a racehorse in a stable. When it brings it out, it is going to have its fear. It's going to be lazy. So you need to manage as a leader the laziness of our people. Secondly, you're going to have fears of uncertainty. Your families may have got affected, your jobs have got affected, your industries have got affected. You will have fear. Third, you will have uncertainties in your mind. As a leader, you need to manage. So my message to the team here is this is nothing unusual. We have had tsunamis, we have had wars, but human race has survived because we believe our mind is stronger than the environment. God bless you all. Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bradley, for that presentation. It's true that a lot of us are so fearful. A lot of people have lost their livelihoods. They're a bit confused, afraid. They don't know what to do tomorrow for the future. A lot of now countries across, I can say even in Africa, for the first time, we're going to be facing recession. We're so scared. We honestly do not know how to move on from here. But I do believe we're in the right space, and with the advice of so many experts today, I know a lot of us will walk away with tips on how to survive through this pandemic. Again, in checking with time, Caroline Karangi, she's from East Africa. A little bit of introduction about what you do and who you are, Caroline.
Thank you very much, Lois, and thanks for the opportunity. This is my first time to actually join you on this conference. I've had the President, Alice Kamunge, pushing me to join you, and I'm glad that she finally got through to me, and I'm already enjoying the conversation. So my name is Caroline Karangi. I'm a management consultant, leadership and management consultant, based here in Nairobi. And the topic I was asked to speak to was on business opportunities that will be available or that will be available during and post-COVID. Now, as a management consultant, of course, I work with many businesses, specifically SMEs. And so some of the things I'm going to talk about shortly is around the insights I've gathered from interacting with them during this period, and some of the things they're thinking about moving forward. Here in Kenya, the Central Bank of Kenya has already given a report saying over 75% of SMEs will collapse, which sounds really, really bad. But I'm also, from my interactions, I'm also hearing a lot of optimism. You know, people doing what you call pivoting, because when you pivot, the why you're in business remains. It's the what that you're going to be doing that changes. And I think that's what a lot of businesses are doing right now. They are rethinking their why and looking at the realities and the new things that are coming up to make their businesses thrive beyond COVID-19. I think from Kenya, the industries that are really adversely affected is, of course, the luxury industry, hospitality and tourism for obvious reasons. But slowly, as we come to realization that protocols that are being introduced by the Ministry of Health, WHO, and other institutions are bearing fruit, you're seeing, like I said, optimism that this thing is actually going to work. It's just that the new normal obviously is going to be a reality for many of us. I actually sit in a Kenya Private Sector Alliance discussion where we are talking about specific industries coming back. And actually, one of them is the beauty industry. And we are asking, what are some of the things we need to do to make sure that we bring those boys and girls back to work? Because it's not just about economies, it's about livelihoods, it's about you know, basically just who people are. And I can say that there's a lot of optimism. And while the CBK talked about 75%, I can see a lot of businesses actually thinking about how to thrive beyond survival to thriving post-COVID. Now, because I was asked specifically about the industries that will work, let me just draw from even discussions I've had from Bradley earlier and you, Lois. And of course, it goes without saying, mindset is the big issue here, all right? And for businesses, it's about the leadership that you use to drive the next phase of your life as an SME. And one of the areas that obviously has come through very, very strongly is e-commerce, all right? And the opportunities that are available that are presented by e-commerce. If you look at logistics, for example, we have quite a number of businesses that are showing an improved business because of COVID-19. We're talking about the Amazons of this world. And if you bring it back to East Africa, Glovo, Uber Eats, and so on, just because of COVID-19 have actually increased their business as a result. So that's one area that could provide an opportunity for somebody who's interested. The other one, of course, is consumer goods. It goes without saying food will always be a key essential commodity. So if someone is thinking of going in that direction, that is an area that you can actually thrive post-COVID-19. And specifically towards healthy eating, maybe dealing with immunity boosters, because you can see who has been affected by COVID are people who have underlying issues. So immunity boosters becomes an area that I'm seeing a lot of businesses that are in the food industry, you know, are going towards. Of course, it goes without saying cleaning detergents and disinfectants is another area. It's very interesting that one of the companies that we are helping, you know, come back had a disinfectant they wanted to launch in 6 months, all right? But because of COVID-19, they brought the launch date a bit closer, and that's actually what has kept them surviving and not laying off their employees. So you can imagine how everybody is thriving even with what's going on. Of course, agribusiness becomes the next thing that a lot of people are talking about. You have organizations such as Twiga Foods in Kenya, that has actually revolutionized how agribusiness is actually being viewed. They actually go to the farmer and get the foodstuff and bring it to people's doorsteps. And that's an opportunity that I'm seeing being replicated across East Africa. It comes as a joke, but you're hearing people saying they're buying food off Range Rovers boots, for example, and Mercedes boots, because people have converted their vehicles to provide food, all right? So, I mean, that is one area that, of course, you know, will never be affected by this. Technology is another one, especially in this part of the world, the digital platform. the Internet of Things. As education is going virtual, as we've seen recently, maybe one area that is obviously going to change is the education sector in Kenya especially. And maybe one area of opportunity would be infrastructural businesses, because the government now has to start rethinking in remote areas of Kenya, for example, what can we do with internet? What kind of cabling can we set up, all right? What will that infrastructure look like so that the child in northern Kenya can be able to access digital content with regard to education? So that's food for thought. And of course, with COVID, one of the things that we are pushing people to think about is innovating, creativity and innovation. So what are some of the areas that you can actually provide solutions for? Of course, health and hygiene products, I've talked about that, but of interest is the accommodation component. You're finding more and more people now moving towards lower abode levels. So for example, if someone was living in an upmarket area, they're now moving, to the lower market areas. And maybe there's an opportunity there for somebody who's thinking about building low-cost housing. That could be an area that will obviously thrive beyond this. Now, the one that really excites me is the potential for manufacturing. And maybe that's where we actually partner with our friends in other parts of the world. Because there's obviously a push, even not just in East Africa, but the rest of the world, to think about a local, building local products. For Kenya, we have this mantra of buy Kenya, build Kenya. And we've seen that actually come alive, especially in the textile industry, where you find a factory in a place called Kitui converting to start actually creating masks, and the government supporting. In fact, government institutions buying from those particular factories. I think I can go on and on and on. But,
yes,
sorry?
Carol.
You want me to
because
review?
Of time, yes.
Yeah, let me summarize.
Because of time, yes.
Yeah, let me summarize. When I was doing my research, I realized that there was a study done in China that talked about the top 10 industries that will thrive beyond COVID. And if you look at them, there are similarities with what we're actually experiencing. If I was just to read a few, the first one was medical education, artificial intelligence, internet, e-commerce platforms, delivery and logistics, healthcare, live streaming platforms, and all those are realities even for us here. So what do you do? I'll leave you with two things that businesses need to do. Number one, like Bradley said, you have to change your businesses to become more humane. Issues to do with empathy and social responsiveness becomes very interesting. Instead of promoting products, you need to start educating people. All right, so that you don't look at your product as something you're just pushing to the market, but you're actually educating people on the benefits. You actually become empathetic. And that care alone will actually make the difference between you surviving and thriving, because that's the way I choose to look at it. And without saying, you have to think digital platform. So it doesn't matter what business you're in, all right? How you actually send your products to the market automatically changes. And if you embrace digital platform, then you're definitely going to thrive. And thank you so much, Lois. Like I said, I can go on and on and on, but allow me to stop there. Thank you.
Carol, we were very much tempted to continue listening to you, because you have quite a lot. You've done your study around the subject, and it's amazing because you're right. Some of us, we shy away from the digital platforms. We're not as strong in PR and communication, but I can tell you, we have been forced to think that way now, to even push our brands out there. Thank you so much for that. We want to appreciate you. Next, our next speaker, I don't know whether Mrs. Chandi Aluahare, is she around? Mrs. Chandi?
No, she couldn't make it. She's stuck in some other thing. She was my invitee.
Okay. Do you have a presentation for her?
No, she couldn't. She was supposed to come and speak about a magazine.
Okay.
She could make it. Maybe she will join a little later. Let's see how it goes.
We pray that she will. All right, Mr. Atham Ali, is he with us? Mr. Atham Ali? Still nothing. Then I'll call upon Katherine Silva, Mrs. Katherine Silva. She's a founder of Core Support Africa. She's here, I can see her. Katherine, over to you, dear.
Thank you, Lois. Good afternoon, everyone, from sunny Nairobi. I hope you can all hear me clearly. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. It's my first time to be in this platform, and it's a pleasure. So my name is Katherine Silva. I am the founder of Co-Support, which is a training and consultancy firm. I'm also a banker, professional banker for quite a long time. And I also take part in quite a bit of charity work. I'm a finalist with the Mrs. Africa pageants for 2021 and an author of children's books. My take on this, I want to speak to my East African lady, Caroline, and say thank you. She touched on quite a bit of what I had read about as well. And she's very spot on what's happening at the moment. What I wanted to speak about is on SMEs and micro SMEs that are actually thriving and surviving in the market, what we are seeing on a practical basis. I have 4 points on this. These are the directions of advice I think that are making a difference. So one is what I call diversification into essential services. So we've had companies that are, for example, in manufacturing of uniforms for different corporates, and you've seen them diversify into now doing a lot of masks making and selling that quite a bit. And we have that, and we have other companies such as manufacturing of cosmetics, like Byline. And they do a lot of different items, but they've also gone into their own branded sanitizers. So the businesses that are not just surviving, but thriving have diversified into what is essential right now. Secondly, collaboration. Caroline spoke about this. Partnering with either your competition or partnering with a firm that is of value along your chain of what you do. We have seen sales companies partner with companies in manufacturing to look at how can they come together and, you know, raise more awareness. How can they partner? And this partnering is also internal, where they are even giving each other leeway on payments, exchange on, we do this for you and you'll do that. For example, in the banking industry, we have been given a lot of online training because most of us are working from home. And how has this worked? It is the clients we have who may be struggling to pay for certain things within the bank, but we give you business, you train our staff online, and you know, we shall reciprocate in a way or restructure things for your benefit. Thirdly, convenience, offer convenience. This is what Caroline again spoke about, offering convenience to do with, for example, Glovo. Glovo transport distribution, they have riders, and what they have done, they were mainly an app where you would go and order fast food or from restaurants, and they partnered with the top supermarkets where they created packages where they can deliver groceries to you right away. So they have not just collaborated, they have used technology, and they're offering convenience. So, you know, they've taken the situation to make them thrive. They're doing better than they were doing way before. My fourth point is customer follow-up relationships. I think this is the humane part that is so important, and relationships not only with your customers. I recently did a talk on leadership with empathy with another organization, because I think now that matters. Before, when we spoke about leadership with empathy, it was, you know, are we being soft? Does this really apply in businesses? This is what is essential. We have seen that people are looking at, are you going to hold my hand during this time? During this time when we have COVID, are we going to partner, work together? Are you calling and checking on me? If we work together at this time, when things thrive even better in future, we can do much more. This is like a very soft issue, but I deliver that it's one of the most important issues. And lastly, we would look at technology. Technology, we're doing homeschooling in Kenya. It's working wonders for many. Yes, it's driving us crazy at home, but our children are learning. So we have technology. I'll give you an example. We have had a lot of hotels close and run out of business. The chief chef of Hemingway's, which is a big brand, for example, he was like, oh, what are we going to do? We've closed. I'm so passionate about what I do. And he went online and simply started doing recipes linked to what the hotel normally offers and teaching people how to make these meals. And they started opening up the main restaurant, not the main hotel, because of technology, because people watched what he was doing. The brand was still kept in their minds and hearts, and now business is starting. So they are surviving through this. Most hotels are just quiet and maybe have shied away from saying, hey, remember us, we'll be here post-COVID. So those are my 5 points. I was told 5 minutes. So I hope they are helpful. And this is what we have literally practically seen. I want to summarize with one thing. We have seen that affordable food has also become quite something. The smaller, tiny cafes, or we'll call it the roadside food being cooked. This is thriving because it's convenient, it's actually healthier and very much available. And we've seen people change from, if they were selling secondhand clothing, these are the micro SMEs on the road, change into making, fried food on the roadside. So this type of thinking is what will make us thrive and survive. Thank you. Thank you, Lois.
Thank you so much, Katherine Silva, for that. What stood out for me is how have we been treating our clients, and having that relationship, client relationship management is very important and key to survive during these kinds of times. Our next speaker is Mr. Tapan Das. Mr. Tapan Das, are you here with us?
Yes.
There he is. Hello,
Yes.
Mr. Tapan Das.
Hi.
Good morning. Mr. Tapan Das is the founder of ISF, Analytica and Informatica Limited. We got that right, Mr. Tapan?
Yes, very much.
Well, the floor is yours, Mr. Tapan. 5 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So ISF, Analytica, Informatica, if you see the name itself, we are into innovative solutions framework. That's the full form of ISF. So we are into emerging technologies. We build technologies primarily on the financial sector. And now we had built a couple of softwares primarily targeted towards exchanges. We create exchanges. We have already some of the exchanges live at this point of time. The exchanges can be either of equity based or can be in terms of based on coins. So that is one line of business that we have, which is the exchange and the finance part. The second line of business, which I'm going to stress primarily, is on the education front. And that has stemmed from our requirement internally in our mentoring our companies who are associated with us. That's where it started with, like portfolio and companies. And now we have moved into classroom and lectures. What we find that education is one thing which is required everywhere in the world, in be it any field. And we have built a model, in fact, an architecture, which is a very easily replicable model. We have the product name called MentorBox at this point of time, and we are replicating this model like easy learning, and we are going to do it for telemedicine and very many similar kind of products. Our main USP is that it is easy to configure, easy to use, and with the COVID-19 out in the environment, the best way to communicate is through online systems. We cannot any longer come together because of social distancing. And there's a huge demand today to have a product which is having all these different tools of whiteboard, We have tools like video conferencing. We have tools like file management, document management, security, emailing. So many tools which are related to communication and as well as associated with education, taking together. We have built such a kind of tool which we want to take to the market. We have seen a quite bit of response coming across in terms of such kind of tools, but no tool today gives you a total package kind of thing where you have a proper security system, because the main problem which was coming was that the securities were not being managed properly with these tools. So today I have built a tool, or our company has built a tool which is primarily focused on first security with a proper login system. Once you log in into the system, then only you get into your lectures, then only you get into your, you get into a classroom, you get into your lectures, you see your schedules, you go ahead and do your attendance. So we have connected the online attendance system along with online education through the various tools. Going ahead, we are connecting the online examination system. We are connecting the administrative system. We are connecting the system for transportation. So this is an ever expanding product that we have got into, and I definitely find that there will be a lot of demand in schools, colleges, even for projects that are being executed, even for telemedicine. So there's a wide variety and wide range of requirements, and I definitely see that there's a market is going to be very receptive of such kind of products, because I can see that in India at least happen, and I feel that the same would be in Africa, or be it in Middle East, or be it in the Europe zone, or be it in Far East. So there's a total requirement with a securitized system. So that's kind of product that we are launching, and we are going to be innovative. We are going to take this data and do a lot of artificial intelligence on top of it and try to give very many predictive analytics based reports on this. So in a nutshell, this product, MentorBox, and then Easy Learning, and then EasyCom, all these are coming up one by one. And you will find this very, very useful for the society, for education per se. Thank you.
Mr. Tapan, thank you so much for the presentation. I think what Mr. Tapan has done, he's introduced us to his brand, and I think if you see an opportunity there, feel free to reach out to Mr. Tapan. So thank you so much, Mr. Tapan, for that. I'd like to take you to the next our next speaker. Do we have Mrs. Caroline Gracia Nyatsambo in the house? I hope I spelled it right. Caroline, yeah, there she is. Caroline, she's a businesswoman and a philanthropist as well. Caroline, I hope you have prepared something for us to help us go through this pandemic and how to survive through it.
I have, is it possible for me to share my screen?
Yes, you can. There's,
okay.
I think you can, yes.
Amanda, can you help make
yes,
Madam
already.
Caroline? Yes, okay, thank you.
Okay. I am not sure. Okay. Is my screen visible to everybody?
Yes, we can see you, but we cannot see the screen.
Okay.
I can see the screen from
I can see the screen.
Yeah.
I can also from Israel.
Come again?
Okay. So Lois, can you see the screen now?
Oh yeah, there you are. Yeah, there you are now. Okay. Yes, yes, you are.
Okay.
There you go, Caroline.
All right, great. I had prepared something, and I can see that most of the things that I prepared have been spoken about, but I wanted to just share this this slide because it has a summary of what most of us have been talking about. And I just want to give a brief background of myself. I worked for Microsoft for a number of years, and one of the things that we were targeting was to create a society where people didn't have to go outside. So for me, the COVID period has been a test run of how a person can conduct their business if they don't have to go outside, how a country can conduct its business if all its borders are closed, if all the planes are landed and all the resources that you normally get from outside are closed off. So for me as a businesswoman, it has also challenged me to think outside the box. And I think as we're talking about changing our mindsets, thinking outside the box is something that we really need to do, and to look at the resources that are easily available for us for business. And one of the things that I'm going to talk about is raw materials, the different raw materials that are used for different types of businesses. So let's talk about going local. So in terms of materials, like whether it's fabric, whether it's agricultural raw materials, whether it's industrial raw materials, it's something that as a business person, we need to look and say, is my business sustainable if the environment is going to be unpredictable even in the future? So that's something that I would like to challenge us to do even during this COVID period, to just look at something that would work. So when we talk about technology, we talk about digitalizing our workspace. So most of the things that we need to do when we talk about customer service efficiency, from the moment a customer touches our business, is it easy for a customer to get into your business, receive the communication, the information that they need, get sufficient communication, have a transport system that is linked to your business, and how easy is it to get the product that you are selling from you to the end customer. So those are things that those are areas where, in terms of looking at business possibilities in that customer chain, when we look at the transport, the technology, people have already spoken about the technology, the raw material. As a farmer, when you look at the products that we are working with, if there are natural things that can happen, like drought. So our raw materials must be must be crops that are drought resistant. So it's training us to work against the odds, to be able to have our businesses survive against the odds. So then the more scary part of it is, what if the internet shuts down? What if the internet shuts down? What then becomes of our businesses? So we need to just have a sort of networking that goes beyond the norm, that goes beyond the specified ways of doing things. So our smart business goals need to change to become specific enough to survive any turmoil in the economy. And when we look at things like financial services, this is something that can that we need to look at, especially working with synergies from across borders, where we look at money can be transferred across borders. Are we going to be lenders? Are we going to get into the financial sector as bankers, creating banks ourselves that have survival techniques that maybe go beyond what today's banking is offering? Because there are many of us who have worked within the financial sector, but have never thought of looking at the loopholes and then working towards starting some kind of financial institution that is able to release financial aid, financial guidance to our societies. And then I'm going to go to maybe to innovation, investing a lot in research and development. The research companies are going to be critical in this time, because it is by getting to the customer, getting into the industry, getting into the marketplace, that we are able to craft services, craft products that are able to attract international and national investment. So we really need to invest a lot into research and development. I noticed that Toyota here in South Africa started inventing ventilators. So that's something that you begin to see that we might have to develop in a way where diversity comes into play in the way we produce and present our products. Overall, I think that in our roadmap going into post-COVID, it's going to be an exciting time, because the players who've learned their lessons during the COVID period are going to be able to make more money, because they have seen the steps, they've seen where the loopholes are, and they're able to create bridges where the gaps are. So I think that's all from me today.
Thank you so much, Caroline. I think what is coming out that is very common, especially food, the agribusiness sector, I think it is thriving. I don't know, are you able to, Caroline, you're still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
We can still, interesting. Okay. Oh, there we are. Thank you so much, Caroline, for that presentation. If you would be kind enough to share that with us. I hope it's not too much to ask, Caroline. Your mic is off.
I will throw the presentation. I'll throw that slide onto the WhatsApp group.
Thank you so much, Caroline. I'll go to our next speaker. I don't know whether Mr. Swarup Roy is here with us. Swarup, Mr. Swarup. Mr. Swarup Roy. How about Mrs. Gumba, Emily Gumba?
Hi, Emily is here.
Hi, Emily, there you are.
Hi, everyone. This is Emily from Kenya. Hi.
Emily Gumba is the Karibu sana, Emily. Let me introduce you. Give me the privilege to introduce a strong woman like you. Emily is a project and program management. She's from Kenya. So Emily, the floor is yours. Karibu sana.
And I consider myself a phenomenal African woman because of the things we do. We want to make Africa proud, and we do it in the interest of Africa at heart. So Corona has given me a new title during this period, and I started what I call Mama D's Kitchen. So besides being a full-time employment, luckily we are working from home, but I discovered a passion that I've always had and in the kitchen, and I've started doing some business. When it's talk of kitchen, it's about cooking, selling food, and so on. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is that this crisis is bringing out the entrepreneurship in us, all of us. Thank you, my Ambassador Alice, for inviting me to talk today. And you told me to talk about, to discuss businesses that are thriving through the pandemic and explore business opportunities. I'll agree with what my other presenters talked about, only that I'll just emphasize, especially in the food sector, it's one of the areas that it will never satisfy. It will always remain untapped. And if you're looking at doing something during this period, explore the food sector. We are looking at, that is agriculture. In as much as we have had all these, of course, people have lost jobs. Maybe we have had many bad things happening to us, like floods, the locusts, and so on. But look at a new thing that's coming up in Kenya. People are turning their SUVs, people are turning their Mercedes Benzes. They're having car sales because they realize, what do I do with my time? I don't want to go to the market, or let me make it easier to the people within my area. Again, there are very stringent health instructions by the Ministry of Health to stay at home, stay safe. So people also don't want to go out looking for food stuff. So what we have also seen in gated communities, they have a WhatsApp group and people sell whatever they have. And I've also supported very many women, and we encourage one another. Try to look for an extra stream. Try to look for extra income. What can you do? And I've seen women going out of their comfort zone and saying, hey, by the way, I can bring fruits, I can bring potatoes, I can bring tomatoes, and they come together and they do deliveries at your doorstep. So we need to bring the entrepreneurship skills in us. I'll give an analogy that I've always had given about of a cow. To me, as a consumer, I look at the cow and I'll just see meat, motura, matumbo, if you know what I mean. But to an entrepreneur, every bit of that cow means something. The skin can make a bag or a jacket. The bones will make earrings, name it, or even, I think, medicinal. Every aspect of that cow can be turned into good use. So what I'm saying is that there are great opportunities and we should not limit ourselves to what we can do during this pandemic. A lot has been said about the manufacturing, and truth be told, we turned to our own resources internally. When we realized we could not go to China, we could not go to places where we do import products and produce to start having manufacturing, especially of the face masks. And you could see all of a sudden, people started now bringing their creative skills of making the face masks and so on. So what you're simply saying is that there lies great opportunities in as much as the pandemic has given us things. People are fearing losing the jobs. You have talked of e-commerce, you have talked of doing things differently, but for me, what I can say is, can we explore what can we do as individuals to bring the best out of us? It has disrupted our lives, true. Look at learning, okay? In as much as, and I liked the challenge given to us by Grace, I think Caroline from South Africa. What if the internet shuts down? Is learning going to stop because everybody now is on Zoom classes, Google classes, and so on? I mean, we went back and started playing, games that we used to play as kids with our children. The family unity became even stronger. And I've seen even people now writing books to support, giving people things, the challenge. How do we take it to another level so that we can document some of these things? So I'm saying, in as much as there is this situation at hand, but again, it presents to us greater opportunities for us to grab. Let us not look at, wow, we can't do this, we can't do business with other countries, but within our own, it has proven that we can support one another. Financial sector, because I work for a finance organization, yes, it is tough. It is very tough, and there's a likelihood that you can't even walk into a bank now and ask for financing. And the same goes to SMEs, and what I think it's Caroline, the first Caroline talked about. It has been projected that 75% of SMEs are not going to do well. But if you look at the flip side, they just have to think of what are they going to do differently from what they're doing in the past so that they remain relevant and survive. So for mine, it's more of a, I'll just call it like a challenge. We go back to the drawing board, things that we used to do in the past, or some of the new things that have come, how do we make it better to suit our situation and the continent? A tourism sector has gone down. We don't have tourists coming. But I'm sure you're aware that nowadays we are thinking of local tourism. In Nairobi Game Park, for example, I understand over the weekends it's ever full. Families are going out and their package is coming up. So in the past, I don't think Bonfire Adventures would not have thought of giving guys a package to go to Nairobi National Park. But all of a sudden, people can't get out of Nairobi. And people want to see animals. We want to be local tourists. So it's just thinking of the situation, turning it around for the benefit of all of us. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emily Gumba, for that presentation. We really do appreciate you. We'll go next to our next speaker is Mrs. Lara Moniz. Lara Moniz.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly well. Hi, Lara,
Perfectly
how are
well?
you?
Hello,
you know
I'm
what,
good.
When they gave me your title, it's Vice President Angola, I wanted to know, once when I saw how young you are, I was like, I hope she's a Vice President of Angola. But she's a businesswoman, you need to tell us. She's also a businesswoman, a motivational speaker. She's a coach and student of information law. Amazing. Karibu sana, Miss Lara Moniz.
Thank you so much for introducing me. I feel really honored to be here upon invitation of the president for Angola, which is Dr. Ariana. Yes, as you said, I am very young. I'm 20 years old, and I am an online motivational coach. I am also studying international law in the Netherlands. And I feel that the reason why I'm here is that I feel that I have a duty to the world and women in particular, since I'm so young, and the future is going to be essentially really needing young people to change their mindsets and to really step up their game. And so the world changes when it comes to a lot of issues, gender issues, racial issues, the economies. One of my biggest dreams is that we stop calling African countries developing countries, and that we are just countries because our people as Africans, we develop the country, we develop the economy, and that is why I'm here. I always try to raise awareness for young people to want to be involved in these things. And then when Dr. Ariana invited me to be her vice president for Angola, of course I felt honored, and I felt that it was my mission to accept this. Today we're here and we're talking about how we can adjust our businesses to coronavirus. But I've been hearing here very good inputs, but my input is more in relation to not how you can adjust your existing business to the coronavirus, but more if you want to start a business after coronavirus, what are some things that people might want to take in consideration, since coronavirus has changed massively the ways that human beings live. And one of the things that it really changed was that we were forced to communicate, because as human beings we have to communicate. We were forced to communicate through digital ways, and even the countries that are not as technologically equipped, or even older people that they didn't see that much need to use internet devices and Zoom, for example, that we're using. Everyone was forced to start using those things. If you want to communicate because of lockdown, everyone had to start doing that. So I see that that is a very, very, very important thing to notice. And the fact that everyone is forced to do things digitally makes me think that there is a huge opportunity to create digital businesses. Especially, there was a speaker here that mentioned before e-commerce, and another speaker that mentioned that it's important to start with our businesses, that our businesses start educating people instead of just putting products to people. So I feel like that the biggest opportunity that I see here are online businesses, especially services that we can provide online. And I feel like everyone has a passion. So some people like cooking, some people like finances, some people like dancing, some people like yoga, some people like cars. And I feel like putting education and technology and your passion all together can really create very good online services and online programs. For example, cooking classes. There's there's programs being sold all over the internet for people that specialize in cooking, and then I pay you for your lessons and you make videos explaining how you cook, and for yoga and for fitness and for everything. And I just realized that more and more and more I've been turning to the internet to learn, and not as much to physical things or a physical school that I can go. And so I feel like this is a very good thing for people to pay attention. So you put your passion with some sort of digital form and education, and you can create a great business that people will pay. People will pay for your knowledge. People will pay to learn from you. And that it has massive advantages, because first of all, it's important that we think long-term. And if we think long-term, we have to think in the future, and the future leaders are going to be young people. And if you think about young people right now, and I can see this everywhere because I'm young myself, we are no longer doing things much that require much physical instruments. For example, back in the day, people used to listen to music, people used to buy CDs. Now we don't buy CDs, we just play music on YouTube. So if we pay attention to those trends, we can project into the future and know what the best opportunities are going to be. Also, an online business is pandemic proof. So a lot of businesses have crashed because of coronavirus, because people can't work. But if you had, for example, an online business where you, or a meditation program, if you like meditation, you can make it and then sell it. Coronavirus can't affect it. If anything, it will make your business stronger, because now people have more time because they're at home, so they will consume more your services online. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention about the benefits is that by making money online, by selling your services and your skills and by educating people, because people definitely will pay for it, another advantage is that you can get paid in all currencies. Because I feel like personally in Angola, we have the Kwanzaa is really, it's going worse and worse and worse and worse. And everyone desires euro. Everyone thinks that euro is such
Lara, my darling, believe me, we want to continue listening to you. I'm inspired listening to a very young person, this passionate about business. And I can see, and I have to agree with you, these days we are learning so much online. I'm learning so much, recipes online as well, and even how to sew. It's amazing. And even French. So I see what you mean. And I know I can see how passionate you are about sharing what you had presented for us. But because of time, I had to cut you short a little bit. I'll go next to our other speaker, Mr. Delaney. Mrs. Delaney, sorry. I can see she's here. Mrs. Delaney? There she is. Hi, Delaney, how are you?
How are you?
Allow me to introduce you briefly. Mrs. Delaney is, Mrs. Delaney Jayasuriya. Did I get it right? She's an executive director, Breakthrough Business. The floor is yours, Mrs. Delaney.
Right. So thank you so much for inviting me today. It's really a pleasure to be sharing my thoughts on how can businesses thrive after COVID. Just to kind of quickly introduce what I do in terms of my job, I head a market research agency. And one of the things that at the onset that I like to say is the fact that COVID took all of us by surprise. I think the only formal institution or only formalized way in which we were introduced to a world that is almost like going through COVID is the Hollywood. We saw a lot of movies that were going through a lot of viruses, attacks. So it's almost feeling as if we're living in a Hollywood movie at this point of time. So having said that, I think a lot of the speakers shed light to the fact in terms of what businesses can thrive in the post-pandemic era. We spoke about transportation, we spoke about agriculture, we spoke about the need to kind of engage with customers, but I'd like to talk more in terms of consumer trends, because that's what I would do for a living. So what we see is, I think the biggest change that is happening in the world is because all of us are forced to work from home. So when we are forced to work from home, how we build our relationship, how we shop, how we get about entertaining ourselves, how we keep ourselves fit, everything will change. And with a lot of the income that's being affected with the pandemic, a lot of layovers, lots of job cuts, lots of key markets, what we see is consumer shopping baskets, especially in areas like luxury goods, are going to be coming down. Perhaps at this point, some of the trends that were there pre-COVID in terms of going into thrifting, not buying new clothes, these trends are likely to continue. So in terms of really navigating yourself through this pandemic, as some of the earlier speakers and Bradley Emerson spoke about, I think leadership is one of the key aspects that really needs to change in organizations. I think rather than trying to adopt your existing business model, for example, if you're a supermarket that runs on brick and mortar, we may have to really look at digital transformation and perhaps looking at digital spin-off of the business as a separate entity. Because what I see is a lot of the companies are trying to almost take the existing business model and say, fine, we are going to go digital now. But I think that doesn't really give you a lot of focus on digital. But what's really important is to look at digital transformation as a separate KPI for the businesses and putting in place resources and people who need to be a part of this transformation. I think some of the other speakers spoke about the demand for local goods and services. Now in Sri Lanka, we've got a lot of taxes in terms of our import products. So that really can boom the demand for locally manufactured products. Similarly, what happens is when consumers start going out, when they're trying to fit into the new normal, be it a restaurant, be it a entertainment aspect that you go into, you're going to be looking at what changes have these organizations done. So it's very important that you look at engagement with your customers, talk very openly about what changes have you done, what are your process changes. For example, we went into a restaurant the other day and there's no valet parking anymore, right? You've got to register before you enter. So, it's very important to communicate these changes because the customers cannot be caught unawares in terms of what measures you have put in to ensure there's health and safety. I heard a few speakers talking about the banking and the finance sector. In Sri Lanka, we have a company called PickMe. It's almost an equivalent to Uber. So one of the things that they did was they actually tied up with a leading bank and they started delivering cash home, right? Because consumers, a lot of us had to buy our groceries. We couldn't walk during lockdown. We couldn't get curfew passes and start moving around. So we needed the local vendors to start coming and delivering products to us. So what PickMe did was, because everybody was strapped for cash, they couldn't access the ATM, so they started delivering cash home, which I thought was a very interesting phenomenon and a very innovative concept in terms of how you really provide convenience to your customers. And if you look at some of the restaurants in China where this whole pandemic started, there is a lot of concern about cooked food, the safety of it. So there are enough case studies where they talk about companies delivering packaged restaurant type meals which can be cooked by consumers. So what we really need to do is, whilst we are navigating ourselves through this pandemic, get ready, engage with our stakeholders, communicate to our customers, and more than anything, make business transformation a priority. So that's a little in terms of my take for all of you in terms of how can we go past this hurdle and come out of this alive. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Delaney, for that presentation. Just to save time, I'd like to quickly move over to our next speaker. Mr. Rajesh, is Mr. Rajesh in? Mr. Rajesh Amadou? Mr. Rajesh?
Mr. Rajesh is from India, the youth leader from India. I think I see him.
Hello, yeah, I'm here. Good evening, everybody. So
hello, Mr.
most of
Rajesh, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine.
Can I introduce you, Mr. Rajesh?
Yeah, thank you very much.
He is the National Council member, Youth for SEVA. They have a very inspirational motto called "To make students run to school and walk from school." Mr. Rajesh, over to you.
Okay, most of the points that were in my mind have already been put. So the next future market, of course, is the digital market, which is people are watching very closely. And also the e-commerce is one special thing where connecting the farmers to the people directly. There will be no middlemen in the coming new market in the business development, what is going to happen. And also because many companies are laying off, so outsourcing of work and maybe freelancing of work could also be one of the main things which business people should monitor, and it will be a big Zoom for people who would like to open their own small companies and do some accounting service, maybe delivery. Logistics will definitely be another big things which is coming to be seen in the next global market. And many cost-cutting consultants will also find their way through in companies, where they can say how we can cut costs in your company and then more savings, because when it comes to business, it is money saved is also money earned. And with most of the things have been there, online education and these platforms which Tapan was talking about is definitely, because I'm sure that maybe 3 months ago, nobody knew about Zoom also, nor the Google Meet, etc., how they can perform. Now, when we are collaborating like this, schools and online education can become, and people will have definitely would like to invest times in getting more skills of doing business and getting to the customers and the trustworthy circle of the customers, and there where the market research and everything will boom up. That's my point of view as of today.
Rajesh, that was very quick and precise and to the point. You're right. You know, the other day I was looking at the figures for Zoom. I was like, oh, wow, those guys, they've hit a jackpot. Yeah. So I'll move quickly to Paris Kigo. It's Kigo. Paris, can you see me? Can you see us?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Lois. I can see you, I can hear you. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
We can see you, we can hear you. Karibu sana, Paris.
Wow, thank you. Thank you. It's an awesome moment. Thank you.
Let me allow me to introduce you a little bit. She is the branch manager VBC, and she's also a business consultant. Over to you, Paris.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Lois. And thank you, everyone in this conference. It is indeed a pleasure to just come together and ask ourselves, how are we going to survive, or how are businesses going to survive and thrive after COVID-19? The speakers who have been before me have mentioned quite a number of things, and I had two areas that I wanted to discuss about. Thank you. The previous speakers have mentioned about the health and safety. Maybe I want to dwell more on the digital economy, where we will all agree that as much as we would call them MSMEs, those are the businesses that make our economy run. Those are the those are the businesses that we need every day, both as individuals and even as the government. And thank you for even mentioning about the food security. I think that has been belabored. I don't need to say that, and about safety. So looking at the digital economy, we will all agree that the businesses need to reinvent, or they need to, for those ones who are very rigid, they need to reorient their strategic plans, especially when you're thinking about how do I market? How do I reach my customers? You can only do that if you move with what is moving. With what is relevant, or what will make you relevant. For example, people are now afraid of going to crowded places. People are afraid to go to the markets, and now they would prefer ordering their items online, and they would prefer home deliveries. So definitely, if you're let's say a vegetable vendor, and you have a WhatsApp group where you have your customers text you what they need and you deliver, you'll find those people thriving during and after COVID. We are all understand the education area, where students are now at home, our children are at home. So schools have gone to Zoom classes, Google Classrooms. So parents are now supposed to upgrade and upskill. So if at home you don't have a gadget, a nice computer, a nice laptop, a good smartphone, this is time, because if they are doing a Zoom class, definitely you have to have an Android phone, I guess Android 5 and above. So definitely you can attest that those are the items that are needed. No other than when we think about home entertainment, which we need because people will not now go to public entertainment. So people will be forced to buy gadgets like home theaters, nice ones, buy gadgets like smart TVs, so that at home they create an environment where they can entertain themselves. And also home fitness. If I can't go to a gym, a public gym, I would go and buy fitness tools or equipment. If I can't have a home gym at home, I will buy those items. You know, I've seen people, they have the skipping ropes, so many other items where in the morning when they wake up, outside the compounds, people are doing exercises, just outside the compounds or along the road near the estates, people are doing exercises using their own items, unlike previously where you just would join a gym place and in the morning that's where you go. So the other thing is working from home employees. So most companies have encouraged their employees to work from home. And therefore, when you look at all that, without forgetting the church at home, now we are no longer going to for church services in the public places or gatherings. So we are doing it at home. So when you look at those items that I have mentioned, it takes us back to how can businesses or new opportunities that would come up, or somebody who is an entrepreneur would grasp and say that this is what I want. This is what I want to do, or this is a new opportunity for me. And I looked at a few opportunities that would, and the ISPs, the internet service providers, because when we talk about online market, online stores, online buying, when we talk about online education, definitely there has to be the internet involved. And therefore, even at homes, people need to install, yes, please.
You know, my time today, I have to observe time, but you know, yes. I was just enjoying, just thinking, I think now I need to start a kiosk somewhere, because I think food is doing very well during this pandemic. Thank you so much, Paris. I appreciate you for that. I'll move to a last speaker, Mr. Vlad. Mr. Vlad, are you there? Hello, Vlad. You can see us?
Yes, we're here.
Julia, yes, Julia. I remember you mentioned that he's gonna do a Q&A, a question and answer.
Yes, yes.
How does he want us to go about it?
Как бы вы хотели, да, чтобы вы хотели, чтобы это были вопросы и ответы, да? Все правильно?
How does he?
Okay. Yeah. He would like to. Everybody's talking about. О каких проблемах? About the current problems. Internet, marketing, the food delivery to customers' homes. I'm listening and wondering.
Okay.
It's like, you know, like, I mean, nobody's talking about some, like, anybody, like, working, you know, like, I mean, working, you know, like, I mean, producing something. Like, producing, actually, yeah. It's kind of like, looks like, you know, like, I mean, yes, our customers want, you know, like, I mean, to sit home and just want people to bring the money, you know, like, deliver the money like cash right to home, you know, like in products right to home. He said, you know, like he wants to ask, you know, like, I mean, kind of folks, you know, like ladies and gentlemen, and who's going to produce? People need to produce something. I'm not saying that China is an ideal place for production. But for 30 years, during the span of 30 years, China turned from the very poor country into the very prosperous country because of the production. 6 days a week. Сколько? Сколько там часов? Okay, because they're working 6 days a week, 10 hours a day.
Okay.
Producing. I want a way to do manufacturing, so we work more doing manufacturers, actual production. What do people need? First of all, people need clean water, ecology, well, clean water, ecology-friendly food, clean food. People will not walk around naked. They need clothing.
Okay. Okay, today. All right.
And people need to live somewhere. They need a roof over their head. They need to live somewhere. I think everybody thinks.
Okay.
Yes. For example, everybody remember, like, I mean, not so long time ago, even without the digital help, without the digital phones, we all knew where our relatives are, where our friends are. We knew how to find our friends to play with, you know, like where to find them. We knew all that. Remember the old, I just want to say, I'm not saying that internet is bad. That's technology. But it's a secondary. It's all secondary. It's all the secondary things. The fundamental thing. Okay. Okay. Okay, that is just pretty good. Okay. He's saying the primary thing is, Vlad is saying the primary thing is a big industries, manufacture of big industries, woodworking, the metal, you know, like, I mean, you know, all those things, you know, like, I mean, manufacturing, big time manufacturing things, and around those big productions, there would be hairdressing salons, there would be shops, there would be clothing shops, grocery shops, there would be built around it, around the big manufacturers. Metallurgical, woodworking, you know, like logging is all kinds of things like that, you know, there would be built, smaller businesses would grow around the big ones. Any crisis is an opportunity. In many countries, it's, of course, it happens, and in crisis happens in a different way. However, what he's saying is that in any particular given country, the crisis will go in a so different way, affects, you know, like a so different way, but it's all the business will be halting. But it all involves with the cost of production, It has to do. We're talking about, development things, you know, like, I mean, when we're talking about the production of the masks, it's 1 cent. It costs maybe 1 cent. So he's saying that's not really, you know, like smart waste opportunities for and go in that field, you know, like, I mean, when we can do, like, I mean, 1 cent, you know, like per mask or whatever, you know, production. It's not the route he thinks that we should go. As far as I know, Dr. Ayla, она что? Yes, as far as I know, you know, like Dr. Ayla is dealing with the real estate. And most likely, I know, and I'm very sure that Dr. Ayla herself can feel, you know, like her business is being affected by that pandemic, you know, like by that pandemic of COVID-19, and, you know, like her business is being, like, I mean, affected in a negative way.
Hey. 505 come someplace.
It doesn't mean that we should stop, you know, like, and do not do anything.
Someone's microphone is on. Kindly. Water gap. Okay, it's off. Sorry about that, Julia. Kindly proceed, but I'll give you a few. I'll give you 2 more minutes, Julia.
The main problem is the lack of technologies. Lack of technologies. New technologies. The new technologies, they bring, they give us the lower cost of the production. The lower, you know, like the production will cost less using the if you use new technologies. If you can produce, you know, like, I mean, if you can make a production, you know, like, I mean, it can make some product, you know, like, I mean, with the lowest cost for itself, you know, like, I mean, that would be much better.
Julia, my dear. Hi, Julia. Just 1 minute to wind up, Julia. Just 1 minute. I have 2 more speakers and time.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, 1 minute. Одну минуточку дальше, да, у нас 1 минутку, да. Our main business project is the building. Is the development. Is the building, the development. We came up with a technology that milling. Скажите быстренько, чтобы уложиться в минутку. We came up with a new technology that, you know, doing the milling of the bamboo, the fastest growing grass, and we make it into the plywood boards that is very eco-friendly, that is resistant to the moisture, resistant to the water, and it's low cost. It's the fastest growing, you know, and it's very low self-cost. It costs very little, you know, to produce it. And it's because we invented the new technology. The market for that is 5 trillion of euros. 5 trillion euros. And our product, several times cheaper than other traditional products. Then even, and our product is 3 раза 5. Во сколько?
Julia, my dear.
Julia, 5 times cheaper than even the cheapest product in the world.
Julia, my dear. Julia, Vlad, my dear. I know. I'd love, and I think everyone agrees with me. Would love to hearing more, because this is a business would love to know and learn and know more about. But because of time, my dear Julia, I have to cut you off.
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We'll have more time next time to talk about, yes, Thank you so much, Julia. I have a special guest in the house. Joy, I hope our guest, the PS, Honorable Lerata Pekane.
Yeah, sorry, Lois. Sorry, I'm just told that he's gone into a meeting, but he has a representative. So the representative will give a few remarks on his behalf.
All right, maybe 5 minutes, because I've seen Abdul has joined us.
Yes, good. I should just say hello, everybody, because it's afternoon and evening and morning to everybody, to different people. Hi, my name is Mankhole. The surname is Masisi Tahisi. And I'm in no way in a position to fit the shoes of the permanent secretary. And we were supposed to be having the principal secretary in the Ministry of Small Business and Enterprise in the Kingdom of Lesotho. We're in Lesotho. Unfortunately, we have just had a new government and a new minister in place, and he has just been whipped in a meeting. He passes his sincere apologies. He will definitely make time next time to be part of us and contribute. Would really like his valuable contribution, just to share with the rest of the world that in a small island in South Africa, we're a country in the mountains in South Africa, completely surrounded by South Africa, and how we are trying to stay abreast in this pandemic, and how we would like to engage with the rest of the world, how we would like to learn from each other, especially with the small and medium scale industries. It is really, really rough. We have diamonds, we have wool and mohair, women who are engaged in wool and mohair, and it would be really interesting to expound, but I wouldn't want to spoil it for everybody, and I would like it coming from a more expertise person. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mankola. Tahisi, it's Tahisi, right? I got it right?
Tahisi, it's good enough.
Tahisi. Thank you so much for that. I've seen Mr. Mr. Ahmedul Islam has joined us. Hello, Mr. Islam, how are you doing? I had called your name, your mic is still off.
Okay, hello. This is Ahmedul Islam from Bangladesh. I'm from Bangladesh. I don't know how many people of you know about Bangladesh. We are from the South Asian country, beside India and Myanmar. So, greetings from Bangladesh, and thanks for the chance for giving to say something about this forum. This is second time in this forum, and Dr. Ayla, thank you very much for giving me the chance to say something here. So all the speaker actually said all the points that I can say in this forum. In Bangladesh, after the in the COVID situation, the business scenario is completely changed. You might know that Bangladesh is exporting garments. We export garments to rest of the world, and we are the second largest exporter after China to export garments in US, rest of the world. But in this scenario, most of the garments industry are suffering the order from the US and Europe. But in the very recent past, from this month, we are getting a lot of order from the the PPE and the mask. Bangladesh is producing good number of PPE and mask in the global standard for the USA and Europe market, as well as the IT support business, all the business and the government activity are happening with the help of the IT things, especially online based. and people are buying groceries from online and doing their regular activity with the online things. Meetings are doing on online. So the scenario is changed. So I myself a IT business person. I do IT business last 20 years, mostly with the Japan. So we are seeing there are good opportunity, different kind of opportunity coming for this IT industry and ICT industry. But you know, as well as Bangladesh is also a low income people, there are a lot of people, and it's a very densely populated country. So business, like poor people are suffering a lot. So business dimension will be changed. So anybody here must know the technology adoption for their business firm. So I can find that if anybody can adapt their business with the technology, they can survive and they can get more and more business in the upcoming days. I think thank you very much for the floor. And if you have any question or anything know about me or Bangladesh, please let me know. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmedul, because, you know, the PPE masks, it's good to know that Bangladesh is producing them, and would hope that you'll have a market in Kenya. I hope there are entrepreneurs around here who will be contacting him for, you know, this kind of business. It is very much in demand
Bangladesh will
across
be more
the globe,
than the other countries.
Isn't it? Huh? Thank you so much. He was our last speaker today, and I can say I've learned so much from each and every one of you, and I'd love to say thank you so much for honoring our invite, for being part of this great conference, for talking to us, for giving us tips on how to survive and how for our business to survive. No doubt that a lot of SMEs have gotten a big hit due to the pandemic. I'd love to hand over to my president. You know, I have two of them. I have the founder, but I'd love to go direct to the president of Africa. She had said that she's going to introduce the other presidents in Africa. Then again, we can hand over to our founder, Dr. Ayla. Over to you, Ambassador Kamunge.
Thank you so much, Lois. Thank you, our moderator for the day. Thank you so much, our speakers. Today as an entrepreneur, I think I've learned so much, and I believe everyone has learned so much that coming from this conference, our lives are not the same again, and we start thinking broadly on what to do to survive COVID. And it has come out very clearly that housing is something which has come out very clearly that people need homes, because commercial businesses, like Dr. Ayla told me the other day, commercial businesses won't drive as much as domestic homes and will drive. So here we are seeing an opportunity of where people will venture into housing, real estate will do very well. And we have seen also agriculture, because we are saying food production, food. So we have seen that one is something, an opportunity which everyone should venture into and start thinking about. If you have a farm, you want to farm. If you want to venture into a business of selling food or opening kiosks or opening eateries, I think that's some business you have seen to do very well. Technology, all that is surrounded by technology, because with technology, it means now we can send commodities anywhere in the world through technology, and we can network through technology, and education we can learn through technology. And that's something which we have learned from our speakers today. And last but not least, our speakers have shown us that all is not lost in businesses, because also if you use your talent, and if you think now that you are sitting at home doing nothing, if you think about our talents can turn into businesses for us. And because one speaker said that since the COVID, she started cooking, and now cooking has turned out to be a business for them. So there are many opportunities we have been taught by our speakers, and we are very, very grateful. Thank you so much, Dr. Ayla, the great woman of substance from Indonesia. We introduced this forum to all of us, women of the world, and we will forever be grateful to you, because this forum has made women of the world and entrepreneurs and even our men of the world come together to discuss on how we can survive this pandemic and come out stronger. And from today's discussion, you have seen we can come out stronger. For in Africa, where the conference today is situated, we are very grateful for this forum, because it has made us even open our eyes and even look into East, because now that is the way to go, to partner with you so that we can be able to change Africa, so that we can be able to tap your technology and knowledge you have, so that we can also grow and we grow together. Because Africa has great opportunities for development, great opportunities when it comes to mining, great opportunities for infrastructure, any investment opportunities, Africa has great opportunities. Today, I want to take this moment to introduce this World Women Leading Change started came to Africa just the other day, and we are very grateful to Dr. Ayla for introducing it to us. But through Carol Bakaik, thank you so much for sending Dr. Ayla to us, because she has helped us in a big way. And today I want to take this moment to ask our Vice President, who is in charge of networking and coordination, the President for South Africa, to have the honor of introducing all the presidents we have in Africa, the ones we have been able to bring together, and we are still recruiting, because very soon the whole continent will have a president to represent World Women Leading Change. Today we want to hear how many presidents we have, and they will only say hello to us, and they don't speak much, only to say hello, the ones who are on board. And also we would want to hear the centers we have opened in Africa, so that the presidents can also say hello. Dr. Ambassador Ndinyo from South Africa, can you do the intro, please?
Yes, good afternoon. I'm not at my place. Afternoon, everyone, all the participants, those who have given the presentation. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening.
Hello. Yes, good afternoon, hello. You're a true African woman.
Yes, my gratitude goes to Professor Ayla Aljufrie. Hi, President, how are you? And then also it goes to President Ambassador Alice. Can you say hi to everyone?
Hello.
Those who don't know.
Hello.
Yes. And I've seen the Angola have represented us. Can you say hi, Angola, to everyone who is here? Angola, or they've moved. I've seen also Botswana. Botswana, can you say hi? Mueti, I saw her, she was here. And also I've seen Lesotho, she has spoken. Mankole, can you say hi? Mankole, President Mankole from Lesotho.
Good, hello, I'm so humbled to be part of this.
Yes, say hi.
Hi, everybody.
Yes, and I've seen DRC, can DRC, Pasha, can you say hi? President Pasha from DRC.
Hello, everyone. I really enjoyed today's meeting. And yeah, it was very insightful. Thank you.
Thank you, President Pasha. I've seen Mozambique. Felinoma, President Felinoma, can you say hi? No, we can't hear your voice. Unmute. So say hi. We can't hear. And now we are also having Namibia. Chess, President Chess, can you say hi?
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
And then we've got also President from Zambia, from Zimbabwe. I'm sorry, the Zambia, they've got the funeral. Can you say hi to the people because you also gave the presentation?
Hi from Zimbabwe.
Hello from Zimbabwe. And we've got also in our midst President Joy, who is leading the Wellness Center. Can she say hi to the people, also the President of Kenya?
Hi,
President
everybody.
Joy.
This is Joy.
And
Thank you, Ambassador
Wellness
Debbie.
Center. Thank you. And we also having President Wacha, President, the one
hello,
who is in the
everyone.
Yes, how are you?
We're fine, thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, and we are also having the President for Infrastructure and Build, President Rebecca. Can you say hi to the people? President Rebecca, she was here?
Okay,
she's not here.
Hello.
President Rebecca.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
Yes, hi. We cannot see you. Okay. So thank you so much, all the people who have presented. Thank you, President Rebecca. But thank you so much for your time, for your selflessness, for really being a women who take, you know, you must always take risk in life. So it's about risk taking in order that you must succeed. And it's about network. We really want to say thank you so much, all of you who have presented from diverse backgrounds of our continent. We thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, our Vice President for networking and coordination. And finally, we have the President for East Africa, Lois.
Hi guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for creating time and for honoring our invite. And Karibuni sana East Africa.
Thank you, Lois. Thank you, Lois. Lois is the President for East Africa. And now, Lois and Dr. Ayla, with your permission, I would want us to observe 1 minute of silence as we honor and we respect and we pray for our departed brother from Burundi, the President of Burundi. Burundi has lost quite a number of people due to COVID and other illnesses on the line of the presidency. So we take just 1 minute to honor that family because we have a president from Burundi and she was not able to join us today because of the same problem. 1 minute of silence. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. With that, I take back my presentation back to our president so that our president can be able to introduce our trustees who are in the house and other presidents from the other parts of the world, and especially our trustee for Africa, one of our own, our sister, Carol Vakai. Dr. Ayla, back to you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the speaker and thank you for hosting the event, President of East Africa. So one of the things that we are learning today, it's amazing. And this is where we as a community, trusted network community, can expand our business. Like for example, any business now can be duplicated in 26 countries because we have the president. So any people who wants to open their business, open their distribution, or open anything can be duplicated in 1 minute to the 26 countries. Of course, if the president are there, then they can choose or they can refer to the right people. And this is where the trade is begin. So during COVID, actually, before people can travel, I can travel to Philippines to open my business. And now people don't want to travel because if they have the trusted people back there in Philippines or in Vietnam or even in India, they don't need to travel. So I invited today Mr. Flat because I think bamboo is one of the future of real estate. And also we also invite Mr. Ahmadul Islam because I think now if you want to produce anything, you can diverse your production, for example, to Bangladesh or even to my country, Indonesia, or to Vietnam, having a very limited cost that is less than normal, you know. So this is the efficiency that comes from COVID. So another thing is, I also want to thank you for our trustee, Dr. Caroline Verkaik. I want to call you up so you can introduce yourself 1 minute, like, you know, over to you.
Ella, is my mic on?
Yes, we can hear
Hi,
you.
thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Ayla. And sorry, everybody, I was driving and I kept losing everybody. It's raining like crazy here. So I had a different outfit when I tried to talk before. But it was so interesting to hear everybody's insight and perspectives on the businesses that we should all be going into. And here in the United States, we have realized that actually the business that's really booming is the medical industry. And I'm very fortunate to be a certified CNA. And so I've been able to have a job the whole time. And there's actually people are making fun and saying the celebrities now are not the people in Hollywood, but the medical team. So that is, it's like also a different insight for us. And especially just hearing Carol, Mrs. Kamunga's, I think, niece or somebody, I've known her for a long time. She's just so beautiful to listen to her and her insights and all the businesses that should be going on. And Ayla for also giving us this opportunity to be able to showcase our talents and our insights. And one brain is 10 brains is definitely better than one. So it's really been great hearing all your input. And I know that in Africa, we are very good at farming. So that is always a great thing. No matter the epidemic, people have to eat. So that is a good industry to go into. So thank you so much for the opportunity, and right back to you guys, and keep safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Caroline. So I think we'll hand it back to the host. And if anyone want to have questions, please do. This conference is every day, and we have a next conference which Bangladesh will host. Yeah, Mr. Ahmadul, when was that? This is going to be on Monday. And actually this conference for me is actually qualitative research. And why leadership? People ask me, why leadership? Because this is a crucial time for every leader. If you are not on top of your game, you are not there and listen to people that is in the business itself, then you are out of the game, because you don't know what happened outside of your country. You don't know what happened. Where is people going after this? So for me, I always sit in the conference because I want to see information. If you are smart enough, you listen to information more than everybody else, before than everybody else. It means you are one step ahead of other people. Then you can produce analytical data that what is going to go next, you know, where is business going. So I've been listening for this conference, like I've been going to like 30, maybe 50 conference from World Women Leading Change. And not only that, we want to provide like a networking platform to help everybody to expand. Back to you, Luis. Thank you very much, everyone. And sending you love and light from Jakarta, Indonesia.
I just thank you, Dr. Ayla, and I invite you to join us on 15th of June, next Monday. I think Dr. Ayla and her office will let you know all the detail of the next conference hosted by Bangladesh. So I welcome you and requesting you to join over there. Thank you.
Welcome. We'll be joining you, Mr. Ahmadul. Thank you so much for that. Just to say once again, thank you so much ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. I cannot thank you enough for sharing those insights with us. I leave here a more enlightened person. A lot of people kept on saying we need to think outside the box, and it is time to actually think outside the box and use a lot of our resources that, you know, are at disposal. So without, you know, I don't have much to say than to say goodbye, and I'd love to hear everybody's voice. No, but wait, Carol or someone else needs to pray for us. Caroline? We said when we start and when we're closing, we need to pray. Caroline, do you want to do that? Sorry for the... Oh, we have so many. Oh, there's so many. Oh my goodness. Karangi. Yeah.
That's something you meant, Caroline. Okay, but thank you so much for the honor. All right, let's do
Do we
it.
have any question? No questions? No questions from the house? No questions?
I would just like to thank Lois for a really good job at doing this. You were amazing.
Thank you so much.
And today she's alone. There is no moderator. We have to
There's
give
no
up the
moderator.
house for East Africa.
Thank you so much. Thank you, East Africa. Thank you, my sisters, for the support. I really appreciate it.
Our moderator was locked out.
Yeah?
Our moderator was locked out.
We'll find out. I hope she's safe.
She's a typical
Joy?
African woman. She multitasks and you did Africa proud, girl.
Thank you so much, Wankola. Thank you so much. Thank you, my sisters. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Right? Any questions?
You did a great job, Luis. No questions.
Yeah, I have a question.
Thank you so much.
I have a question.
Yes.
Go
yeah,
ahead.
so yes, I do have a question. I wanted to ask, I don't know who it was because I kind of lost signal there, and they touched on mental health, which is something that's very dear to what I do as the CEO and founder of the Voice of Our Child. And I was just wondering if that person is there or any one of you can answer this. How do you think that our teenagers are getting more affected by what's going on? Or do you think that for them, kids who are affected by depression and mental illness, this is more of a relaxing time because they're spending more time with their parents?
Thank you. I want to respond to that because it's something also close. Sorry, my name is Emily from Kenya. I'm not the one who asked the question, but it's something also close to my heart. I deal with youth, and within my network, I have about 17,000 plus youth I'm dealing with. And it's true, mental health is coming out, and they're getting more depressed. I don't know how, there are all these probability questions, who do they turn to? And remember, some of the things affecting the triggers are actually within the home, and they don't know how to cope with. Normally they use a school as an escape, but now they're at home. Some of them don't want to accept the realities of where they are. How do we help these young people and even businesses? Because even the fear of losing your job, I'm seeing it even affecting families. And I think there's been data of increase of increase of domestic violence and so on, which eventually can turn into depression and mental health issues. It's something we really need to think about. Yeah, because as people lose their jobs, some are even fearing losing their jobs before they lose it. You can imagine you lose your business, you just shut down, negative, the banks, the creditors are after you. It's something as businesses we need to think. So how do we even caution business people? Can we have webinars to train or talk about it? Because if we talk about it, a problem shared is a problem solved.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
One last question for the people who are in Kenya. I wanted to find out, as a tour operator, because I also own a tour company, Water Gap Africa Safaris. We had set up a trip to come in June, but now we rescheduled to November. How is the tourism? How are the lodges closed? Like, what's happening there? Mrs. Tamunga, maybe you might know. Alice? Alice?
Alice, your mic is off.
Oh, is the Ministry of Tourism still operating and the lodge is opening? Yes?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Even as I answer your question on lounges, I want to do an enjoyed of what you have asked before and what Emily has said. Maybe what I can say and what I can tell parents, especially because our children, yes, they are hurting our children and depressed our children. They are in uncertainty because this is the age, you know, during our age, like my age, for example, I passed through 1 or 2 pandemics like this before, and I can relate with them. But our children, maybe this is the first time they are finding the families in such a situation. But what I can advise parents is, let us, as parents, for once, let us sit down with our children and let us be open and let us put everything on the table and talk to them and let the children know the situation in their family. Let them know what is going on. You don't have to hide anything because they can see, even if they don't talk, children can see what the families are going through, what the parents are going through, especially when they lose businesses. I'll give a good example with my family. Our business is purely education. We don't do anything else. We don't know anything else beyond education all our lives. And in this business, we are all, from my husband to myself and all our children, we are together training. And all of a sudden, one day, we were very happy. We were doing renovations and everything ready to take off 2020 with a lot of high spirit, knowing that it was a success. Only one day today, we were very good. Tomorrow, the following day, we were closed. And since March, we have been closed, everything, zero. We don't get anything. We closed all our schools. And we found ourselves at home with our children. What has made us come this far, that our children are happy, we can smile, we can laugh, we can enjoy ourselves, and we just, it's because we became transparent. And all our children, they know what we are going through and what has happened to our businesses. And that we have nothing, whatever we have, it's just for survival. So if parents can open up and tell the children the truth of the matter, trust me, the families will be happier, people will be happier, because the children will know this human umbrella, you know, in front and back, this is all we have. And this is what we have. My father, this is what my father asked, this is what my mother asked, this is what we have as a family. So we have to do with what we have. And trust me, if you open up to your children, if you tell them the truth, if you sit to listen to them, if you have a minute with them, without having to make them feel like they are a liability, trust me, you are going to you are going to reduce the depression from the children. You are going to reduce the anxiety, and your family will be happier. On the issue of the lounges, yes, the country is opening slowly. We started by opening the lounges. So, Carol, you can start celebrating within maybe a month or 2, because the structures are being put in place. Maybe from the restaurants, they are going to open the lounges. Of course, with a lot of adjustments here and there. But I think very soon they are going to open the lounges. But for now, they are still closed. So don't start celebrating yet. But very soon, I know the country will open up. The only industry which will still be affected is education, and also most of it is education, because don't forget we are dealing with small children, and because of those small children in primary school and secondary schools, those ones will be affected and it will take a longer time. But I think the country is opening slowly, and we are hoping that we are going to reach the peak quickly, so that now the country can open up.
Thank you so much, Alice. I love Kenya. It's my motherland, and I love it. So it's good to know that they're opening soon, and the kids can get back to school and everything. So thank you so much.
I wanted to share something. that today I actually first time go to the restaurant after 3 months. I was in my library, and you will not believe it, just going to a restaurant and eating with my team is actually a very happy day for me. So those little things in life that actually we forgot sometimes, that actually bringing values to our life. And through this pandemic, I want to thankful my ambassador Alice, who has been amazing. We have going to Africa, a country that I could never reach myself. And you know, through Caroline, I met Ambassador Alice Kamunge. Forever I be grateful to you, Caroline, because Ambassador Alice Kamunge have developed a market in Africa. Africa is 1.3 billion. It's same like India, 1.3 billion. So you have India, we have Dr. Rupa in India, you have me in Indonesia, you have people in Philippines, you have people in Vietnam, you have people in Bangladesh, Mr. Ahmedo. So together as a big community, I think we can outsource, we can distribute, and we can duplicate business. So back to you, Luis. Thank you very much, everyone, especially for Africa, especially for East Africa, for having this conference.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ayla, so much for creating this platform where people can be able to engage and be able to network. I think I cut my president short. Dr. Ambassador Alice?
No, it's okay. I'm just saying thank you.
All right. So we're going to close this session today with a word of prayer. And then again, for the non-Christians, we're going to have, you know, a moment of silence. So over to you, Caroline Karangi.
Thank you. So allow me to pray in the Christian faith. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, as we come to the end of our time together, we thank you for what has been accomplished here today. May the matters discussed serve as a catalyst to move us forward and cause us to advance and see growth in all areas of our lives. May we live here recognizing you're the God of all wisdom and you're willing to lead us forward. This we pray in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I guess, like you said, Lois, we can observe a minute of silence for the other faiths. Okay.
Tomorrow we have wellness center, and Saturday we have children and also creative art. Sunday we have Africa is launching another center. Africa is amazing. They launched the new center called infrastructure, and I think we have 2 new speakers here, the bamboo guy from Russia, you know, and congratulations to all of you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Saturday we have one conference from India. It's called Technology. Dr. Rupa is also make a conference. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, stay tuned with us. We have so many conferences to learn to each other.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Ayla. Bye, guys. Would love to hear your voices. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Africa.
Bye.
Thank you, South
Bye,
Africa. Thank you, Bangladesh. Thank you, Israel.
Bye.
Bye, all.
USA, bye.
Mozambique. Thank you, Mozambique. Thank you,